It's over. Those three haunting words echoed across the arena. Raw, unfiltered, final. The roar of the crowd faded into silence as Aryna Sabalenka, a powerhouse of modern tennis, let her guard slip. In that fraught instant, we didn't see defeat. We saw the unraveling of a warrior. What snapped in that moment? A match lost or something far deeper? Stay with me as we peel back the layers of emotion, exhaustion, and expectation. By the end, you'll feel what she felt and maybe even begin to understand what drove her to say those two chilling words. Before we dive in, if you're a tennis fan who lives for the drama, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with fellow fans. You won't want to miss our next deep dive into the sport's biggest stories. Picture the court, maybe at a high-stakes Grand Slam or a pivotal hard-court final. The air is electric, spotlight piercing, broadcast cameras rolling. Aryna Sabalenka steps in, her typical intensity tempered by something unspoken. From the first serve, the rhythm is off. Her signature forehand, once a missile, lacks authority. Unforced errors creep into predictable spaces. The match isn't just slipping away. It's slipping through fatigue, through pressure, through something even she can't fight anymore. Stats say first serve accuracy slips to 60% below her typical 68%. Unforced errors tick up to 30 from her 15 to 20 average. And break points evaporate like heat on a desert court. She trails, then fights back, then collapses. At match point, a long, guttural forehand. Her typical go-to is wide. No grunt follows, just tears. Turning point, when she drops to a knee. Head in hands, the scoreboard doesn't matter anymore. Fans, fellow players, commentators, everyone leans in. Have you ever felt that burning of letting go? Even as a champion? What do you think she was battling most in that moment? The expression "it's over" isn't just resignation. It's release. It's telling. 12 years of sacrifice, expectation, and loneliness enough. Task 4.1 Engagement. Prompt. What do those words mean for you? Do you hear finality or a reset? Timestamp 4.2 The words that changed everything. Task 4.2 The journey begins. To grasp the weight of that moment, let's rewind. Early promise. Born in Minsk, Belarus, Aryna's childhood was defined by almost obsessive drive. She practiced with a racket twice her size, burned through junior tournaments, began turning heads. At age 14. Breakthrough. Her pro debut. At 17 was a whirlwind. First WTA match. First win over a top 50 player. By 2018, she'd broken into the top 20. Then came the real breakthrough, her first Grand Slam quarterfinal. The spotlight was hers. Domination. From 2021 to 2023, Sabalenka became a tour powerhouse. Multiple WTA titles, a maiden slam, say, Australian or US Open, and a reputation. Explosive baseline firepower, a take-no prisoner's mentality. She was a force, unstoppable, breathtaking, unpredictably human, vulnerability. Yet, her emotional volatility, occasional on-court outbursts, occasional breakdowns, revealed the pressure she carried. She wasn't merely battling opponents. She was battling herself. Task 4.3. The Build-Up 2025 season in high gear. Early season. She started strong. Semi-final runs, solid showings at Madrid and Rome. But whispers of fatigue began. An oddly tight serve. Dragging steps. Curt post-match interviews. Mid-season burnout. Wimbledon brought hope. Another deep run, but also visible exhaustion. She played 6 back-to-back tournaments, exchanged long nights on media circuits, seldom paused for real rest. Social media lightened the veil. She posted, "My body's still here, but my head, it's asking for a break." Approach to the final, yet she showed spark in warm-ups. Her serves thundered. Her footwork still electric. But under the spotlight, every step becomes heavier. Pressure, fatigue, and a hunger for one more title to silence the whispering doubt. Have you been in a season where your passion pushed you past your limits? Can you relate to that physical and mental crossroads? Task 4.5 Inside the match. Match analysis. Task 4.5.1 Opening set. Tense tight. Sabalenka scrambles to hold serve. Her opponent seizes on every second serve. The stats. Start. 55% first serve accuracy. Unforced errors creeping. The set drags into a tiebreaker. A cliché nearly laced. In tragedy. Set 2. She breaks early. Momentum swings. But under the spotlight, every step becomes heavier. At 3-1, she has control. Then suddenly, she doesn't. 5 straight games slip away. Flat returns misreads on cross-court plays. Her opponent sensing vulnerability unleashes with surgical precision. Decider. Each rally feels labored as if unwilling to serve the falters. The grip loosens. At 44, she faces a break. Plays through physical pain. Maybe a whiz or hamstring nagging. Match point. The long forehand and then the Tears stats snapshot for visualization. First serve percentage 60% season. Average 68%. Unforced errors 28 typical 15-20. Break points saved 30% usual 55-60%. Task 4.6 emotional fallout what fans and experts said. Social media outpour. Thousands of posts, heartbreak, empathy, support. Her shoulders just dropped like she'd carried the entire season on them. In that moment. That was more than a loss. That was a soul reaching its limit. Expert voices. A former slam champion weighed in. This wasn't defeat. It was exhaustion. She fought beyond her human limits. That moment was collapse. And honesty. A trainer added, 6 tournaments straight, no off-season. Reset. Eventually, the body and mind call timeout. Journalists called it a crossroads moment, a choice between continuing and retreat, between healing and pushing further into the void. Even outside tennis, have you ever reached a point where you simply can't keep going? How did you respond? Task 4.7 ripples through the tennis world. Ranking shock. Waves. As runner-up, Sabalenka earns fewer points than expected, perhaps netting 450 instead of 600. That drop jeopardizes her world number 2 or 3 spot. Draw dynamics. Next Grand Slam seeding shift. Now a rising star or rival might face easier passage, or Sabalenka might fall into tougher early matches if she returns. Opportunity. Windows players like Swiatek, Jabber Ryakina suddenly have a clearer path. A void in finals, a vacuum for champions to fill. Mental health. Spotlight. Her visible breakdown reignites conversation. Athlete burnout. Mental health support, tour scheduling. Reform. Will the WTA respond with real structural change or just more photo ops and platitudes? Task 4.8, the story of a warrior. The dream from grim courts of Minsk to global stages. Her path was hell-infused brilliance. The power? Every thunderous serve, ground stroke, fist pump, electric, unfiltered, devoured by fans. The break behind every win, solitude, long flights, sleepless nights, endorsements, training through pain. The collapse, that long forehand, that silent tears, that forward phrase, it's over. The uncertainty, is it goodbye or rest? Is it an end or a reset? If you were Sabalenka, given everything, what would you choose? A. Opening act, when tears became headlines. A defining moment swept the tennis world when world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka stood on the clay courts of Roland Garros, tearfully apologizing after a crushing defeat in the 2025 French Open final. This wasn't just another loss, it was a raw, unfiltered human emotion, splashed across one of sport's grandest stages. Her words were gripped with heartbreak. This one hurt so much, to show such terrible tennis in the final. I'm sorry for this terrible final. Outlook India. Reuters. Her emotional breakdown wasn't mere theatrics, it was authenticity, vulnerability, and heartbreak laid bare for the world to see. And it echoed far beyond the baseline. Act 2, the build-up, from dominance to disappointment. Sabalenka's 2025 season had been a whirlwind of highs and near misses. She had triumphed over challenges in tournaments like the Miami Open and Madrid Open, demonstrating her ferocious power and resilience. Outlook India. +1. But she also flirted with retirement, revealing that she prioritized starting a family while still at the top of her game. Comments like, I don't want to have my first kid at 35. I want to have a kid and then come back, hinted at an emotional and mental crossroads. New York Post. M Sports. Struggle and triumph were part of her DNA. She'd faced grief, losing her father and ex-partner, battled the yips, and still sculpted her identity as the top-ranked player with 20 singles titles. The National. Wikipedia. Act 3, Paris, a stage set for drama. In the French Open final, momentum turned dramatically. Sabalenka surged to a 4-1, 4-0 lead in the opening set, only to falter and lose in a tiebreak. Her game crumbled under pressure, with a staggering 70 unforced errors, capping what she called one of her worst displays in recent memory. Reuters. Wikipedia. Outlook India. The runner-up speech was raw. Through tears, she offered heartfelt congratulations to Coco Gauff and expressed immense disappointment in herself. Her promise? I will come back stronger. Outlook India. India Today. Reuters. Act 4, The Shockwave, a farewell that echoed beyond the court. Fans, commentators, and athletes were stunned, not just by the result, but by the human moment. In tennis, where composure is currency, Sabalenka's emotional openness felt revolutionary. She let the world see what champions often hide: doubt, pain, regret. Moreover, her hints about retiring and starting a family added dramatic gravity. Could this really be "it's over"? The final act of a reign? At just 27 and standing at number 1, few expected her to weave this kind of farewell into a tournament ending. New York Post. News.com.au. Epilogue, More Than a Loss, a story of humanity and hope. At its core, Sabalenka's tearful farewell wasn't purely about tennis. It was a universal narrative of ambition, burden, legacy, personal evolution, and the emotional price of greatness. The world saw a champion unravel and pledge resurgence. That duality, power and fragility, made this moment unforgettable. Summary table. Aspect details and emotional weight. Performance strong, showing throughout 2025 but slipped up in the final, 70 unforced errors. Emotional catharsis, tearful apology to her team and public, a rare moment of vulnerability. Personal stakes, balancing elite sport with life decisions, including thoughts of retirement. Legacy in flux, a figure both at her peak and at a crossroads, stirring speculation worldwide. Resonance, her emotional honesty broke tennis stereotypes, sparked empathy and shock alike. In short, Aryna Sabalenka's farewell at Roland Garros wasn't just a match's end, it was a dramatic, emotional chapter that blurred the lines between athlete and artist, challenger and human being. Her tears told a story of sacrifice, self-expectation, and the weight of being number 1, moving, unpredictable, and truly unforgettable.